Hello, welcome to ZIM Capture. I'm inventor Dan Zen, and ZIM at zimjs.com is an open source framework for making interactive media on the HTML canvas using JavaScript and Create.js. In this capture, we're going to take a look at events. And events are very important in interactive media. That's how we tell when somebody's clicked on something or an asset has completed its loading, keyboard's been pressed, etc. So let's go into the code and take a look at events. We're in a ZIM frame template, and there's the new ZIM frame being made and stored in frame. And look, here we are applying a ready event. So frame.onReady. On is a method that captures events. So frame.onReady, we call this function. That's in the second parameter. And we do all that stuff up until there when we end the on method. Let's see an event on something that we make ourselves. So how about var circle equals a new zim.circle, and we'll give this a radius of 100 and a color of frame.pink. How about pink is a property stored on the frame that gives us a zim pink color. You can make it any color you want, such as quote red. So let's add the circle to the stage, circle.center on the stage, and take a look in a browser. Woohoo! Now what should we do? How about when we click on the circle, we'll make it do something. So that would look like circle.on, quote, and we're going to pass in two parameters here. The first is the event, so that will be a click as a string. And the second is the function that we're going to call when we click, animate. Okay, isn't that nice? Circle.onClick, call the function animate, which we'll define here. Function animate, like so, and we'll animate the circle. Circle.animate, how about its scale to 2 in 1 second. Now to see that we can click on this circle, we can say circle.cursor equals pointer, not pinter, pointer, heading over to the bar, equals pointer as a string. Quote. Okay, so that's any CSS cursor parameter. Now the pointer will give it the finger. Yes, let's give the circle the finger. We then click and call the function animate, which will increase its scale. So we save that and refresh here. Are you ready? Ooh, there's the finger. We click and its scale increases. If I click again, it doesn't seem to do anything because the scale's already at 2. Well, we can rewind it. So we'll convert this. We've got two parameters in here in the animate, and we're looking for the rewind parameter, which is way the heck over here. So we'll convert this to a ZIM duo configuration object. So the first parameter there is the object, or OBJ. The second parameter is the time. And we'll make a third parameter, rewind, true, and finish our single configuration object. Okay, so passing in one parameter. Well, let's try her out. We save that and refresh here. And I press, ooh, and I press, wee, isn't that fun? Now what happens when I press in between? It seems to only do that one animation. That's a good thing. That's because the protect parameter by default is true for animate. And what protect does is if it's got a rewind or a loop, it won't interrupt that. Otherwise, you'll get some back and forth going on. And you can turn protect to false and get that back and forth going on if you want, but it's tricky to deal with. Okay, so great. Now what we've got is a function right here, the function animate, being applied when we click. What we often do is put a function literal right in there. So let's see an example, and how about another event? So circle.on, we will do mouse over, comma, and here we put the function literal. Function round brackets, squiggly brackets. And inside we can do something like circle dot color equals frame dot blue. Now this event, the mouse over, well, both these events, a click and a mouse over, happen later on. We have a stage.update here, and by default the animate will update your stage for you, but mouse over, there's no update stage here, so we'll need that. Should we see what we mean with save that? And with no update stage, I refresh, I roll over, nothing happens. So what we need is this stage.update. Copy that one, copy it. Right, so stage.update after we mouse over, save that, and I refresh, and mouse over, and now it changes. So remember, if something's not changing for you, always remember that you might need a stage.update. Okay, let's do another one. You might be wondering, so how do we make it so that when we roll off, that it goes back to its normal color? And what are these events, and how do I know which ones I can apply? Well, these events are on the circle, and the circle is a ZIM circle. So we can go to the documentation for whatever object we're dealing with. Go to ZIM, ooh, pizzazz, and hit the docs, and type in circle. That's the type of object. There's ZIM circle. And if we scroll down here, we can see the parameters, the methods, the properties, and there's the events. See the CreateJS easel docs for container events such as added, that's when it's added to the stage, click, we've seen that one when we click on it, a double click, a mouse down, a mouse out. By the way, for double click, I'm not sure, and I can't remember for sure, but I think we might have to turn some sort of double click property of the stage to true, so just watch that. Mouse down, right, happens when you mouse down on something. Mouse out, oh, that looks good. Mouse out is probably what we want to return that back to green. Mouse over we've seen. Press move happen when you press and move. Press up happens when you press up. There is no mouse up, only a mouse down, so we can use a press up, or indeed the click also activates when you release the mouse. Remove from the stage, roll out and roll over, which I think are just versions of mouse out and mouse over. Alrighty then, so we want a mouse out right in here. There's the mouse over. Did we not make a copy? I thought we did. Circle.on click, not yet. Okay, so copy that and paste. Mouse over, instead of mouse over, we will say mouse out, like so. And change it not to blue, but back to, what was it? Pink. And update the stage. So, are you ready? Let's take a look. Refresh here. We mouse over, it goes blue. We mouse out, it goes pink. Mouse over, mouse out. Yay! Super! So that would be probably the basics of events. We've been able to apply an event to an object and call a function when that event happens. But there are more advanced things to do with events. I think it probably would be the safest to show you those here, even though they can get a touch complicated, and we do have mid-level captures and advanced captures. I think it's dangerous to go into the world without knowing more about events. So let's carry on. Alrighty, what shall we do next? Well, you see how we're mousing out? We actually don't have to capture this mouse out event here unless we've already moused over. So for total efficiency, we could take this and place it right inside here like so. So what this is doing is when we mouse over, it will change the color and it will apply a mouse out event at that time. But we have to be careful because this mouse out event would be applied every time we mouse over, or a new one, not this one actually, a new mouse out event would be made every time we mouse over. Okay, so we can test that. How about we zog mouse out here, like so, and let's see what happens. We refresh here, take a look at the console, F12, we roll over, or roll out. One mouse out, hey, no problem. We roll over, we roll out. 3 times mouse out, we roll over, 6, 10, 15, 21, 36. So all of a sudden 66, well, that's the total, but every time we go, it's doubling the amounts of mouse outs. Okay, so that's not good. Or is it just adding one mouse? Anyway, it's certainly adding more than we need. So if we mouse out 10 times, I think we'd end up with 10 of these being added, or mouse over, mouse out. Every time we mouse over, we add these. And that is changing the color to pink. So, 20 times we're changing it to pink, 20 times we're updating the stage, and that is bad, especially on mobile. Okay, so if there's other things going on, this is going to bog. So we have to be very careful that we don't apply. Same with things like do not apply events and things like a ticker where that's constantly going, and you'd have all of a sudden all these trillions of events happening. Well, maybe not trillions of events. So there's a couple ways that we can deal with this. First, well, there's actually 4. First of all, we don't even have to put it in here. We could put it after, and then we don't have that efficiency. Very, very faint efficiency. I don't think anybody's going to worry about that. But another way that we could do it is whenever we create this, we can pass in a parameter here. This one's called null. That's a scope, but we'll ignore that for now. This 4th parameter we can set to true, and that is just run this event once and then delete itself. Okay, so that's kind of neat. So let's save that, and we'll refresh. And as I roll over, roll out, right, mouse out, roll over, roll out. Oh, now we've only got 2. Roll over, roll out, 3. So that's great. Now each time it's just going once. Okay, so we're assigning that mouse out each time, but we're saying, hey, that's only going to run once and then remove itself. So that would be one way to remove the event. Another way would be that we can assign this event to a variable, and then it's quite common. The traditional way that we would remove an event would look like this, for instance. Circle.onClick, call animate. This is nice and easy. We would say circle.off, click on animate. This just turns that off. So right away, we won't be able to click on this. So I refresh here, and I click. Clicked on it. Right, I forgot about that. That is the documented way of turning off a click, and this will work. I'm not sure what it is. It seems to work sometimes and not others. I don't know if this wasn't created fast enough and we're turning it off too quickly, but I found that this is quite unreliable, despite the fact that that's the way it's documented in Create.js. So there's bound to be a reason for that. What I've done instead is assign this to a variable. So var click event, like that, is equal to circle.on. And then what that's going to do is on will return the function that was used, and we store that in a variable called click event. So circle.off, click, we don't use the animate function, we use the click event function. Okay, and this will work. So now when we click on this, nothing will happen. So we refresh, click, nothing happens, click. That's because we added the event, and then right away we said, hey, turn that event off. So at any time we can turn an event off if we store the event function in a variable like that and then use that. Okay, so that would be another way that we could get rid of this mouse over or this mouse out. When we mouse over, we can apply that, but when we mouse out, we can remove this. So that would look like var. Now I believe we should be all right because of something called a closure. So var mouse out event is equal to this thing that will return into here. And then we can say, along with doing that, we can say circle.off, mouse out. So just copy that, circle.off, mouse out, and then copy this to here. Isn't this fun? Okay, so what we're doing is we're applying the mouse out event. And then in the mouse out event, once we're done with it, we say circle.off the mouse event. And we save that, and let's test it in the browser. Refresh. I roll over, I roll out. It says 1 mouse out. I roll over, I roll out. It says 2 mouse out. I roll over, I roll out. 3 mouse out. Now remember the difference? If we didn't turn that off, like so, and refresh here, I roll over, I roll out. I roll over, I roll out. 3, I roll over, I roll out. 6, I roll over, I roll out. 10, I roll over, I roll out. 15. Okay, so bad. Getting rid of it, good. A final way that we could remove this is, instead of doing it that way, and we don't even need this then, we can capture what's called an event object in here. So we store that in E. And we can say e.remove. And that remove method that belongs to the event object will remove this event for us. So if I save this and I roll over, that was the bad way. I refresh here, I roll over, I roll out, we're fine. I roll over, I roll out 2, I roll over, I roll out 3. Okay, so a bit advanced, but at least it shows some nuances of events. Now, the easiest way perhaps to handle this one would just be not to embed that in there. And like I said, we'd be fine with that. So quite often I'll just do a mouse over and a mouse out as 2 separate functions. So we don't have to worry about a remove, we don't have to worry about the E, etc. And there we go. And this would be fine as well. Okay, more about events. Well, how about more about that event object? That looks intriguing. What is all that about? So I'm going to not remove the click event. Whoop, whoop, going in backwards. Okay, so we're back to normal, just a circle. We're clicking it. We've got the mouse over on it, and we've got the mouse out on it. Great. Now, the event object. We collect that in here, and that gives us extra information about the event. And this is very important, very, very important for efficiencies. Okay. So the event object gives us extra information about the event. For instance, e.target will give us what was clicked on. All right, so we can just, instead of specifying a circle, we can use e.target. Like that. So let's try it and see if that click still works. We refresh here, I click, and indeed it still works. Okay, so e.target is what caused the event. There's another one, and that is e.currentTarget. And e.currentTarget is whatever the event is put on. So that would be specifically circle. Well, you might be looking at this and going, well, wait a minute, but circle is what caused the event. And so, yes, indeed, they're the same in this case. But where this becomes important, and indeed very handy, is when we put multiple things inside a container. Then we can apply the event to the whole container, and we can use e.target to tell us what inside the container caused the event. Can you see the efficiency now? So say we had 100 monsters. Rather than putting a click event on each monster, we put each monster in a monsters container, and then we apply the click event to monsters, monsters.onClick. And we use the e.target to tell us which monster was clicked. We should do that. Let's do it. We won't do it with monsters. We'll do it with circles. So var circles, and quite often we just use the plural version of whatever we're storing. So circles is the holder, and that will be a new ZIM.container, like so, semicolon. And then circles dot well, we don't need to center it, we'll just add it to the stage. Stage dot add child circles, like so. Now, the container is going to start off with no size, and we add it to the stage. That will go at 0, 0. So if we went and circle.center on circles, circles is now where we're going to add it. So we've added circles to the stage. Now we're going to put our circle into circles and center it. But circles has no size, so it's just going to be up there in the corner. Let's see what that looks like. It's not going to be very centered. Oh, something didn't work. Var circles equals a new ZIM container. That's good. Hopefully you caught that. And refresh here. And there's the circle up there in the corner centered on the container. It's like, oh, drats. Well, a way around that is we can give the container a stage width and a stage height. So this will set the bounds of the container to be the stage 0, 0, and then stage width, stage height. Okay, so if we save that, now the circle will be centered nicely back on the stage. Let's add another circle. So we copy that, paste, and call this one circle 2. Circle 2, circle 2. And we'll just keep it the same. So circle 2 will center circle 2. Oh yeah, we don't want to center it. Well, we'll center it first, and then we'll say circle 2 dot x, and we'll move that over. Plus equals 300. And save that. So we've just centered it and then moved it over 300 pixels. And let's see what that looks like. Great. So cursor's fine, but no click, no rollover. We've got click and roll over here, but no click and roll over there. Well, why don't we just, I'm feeling a little bit unbalanced. Unbalanced. And let's change that to a circle 0. Circle 0, circle 0, circle 0. So we're adding or centering circle 0 on the stage, but not plus equals 300. Let's minus equals 300. As a matter of fact, the pointer, one nice thing that we can do is we don't have to add a pointer to each one of these things. Can you guess why? We can just add the pointer to the container itself. So that's circles.cursor is a pointer. And now all three will get a pointer because the whole container has a pointer. So you got that. We've added circle to it. We added circle 2 and we moved it over a little bit. We added circle 0 and we moved that back a little bit. And here's what we see. Great. Yeah, we've still got the pointer because the pointer's on the whole container. This one's operating, but these ones are not operating. All right. Now here's the trick. Are you ready? Circle.onClick. No, circles.onClick. And here we collect the E and the E.target. So whatever our target is, that will animate. So let's just check that one out. We refresh here. We press this one and it animates. Oh, we press this one and it animates. And we press this one and it animates. Wow! 3 event listeners for the price of 1. That is great. What about our rollovers? So let's do our rollovers. We come on down. Circles.onMouseOver. We collect our event function, our event object, sorry. And then here we don't specify circles.color, but we actually say E.target.color. And same with the mouse out. We supply the event object, and we use that event object to get its target. So that's what caused the event. So as I roll over, oh, that's on circles. It's whichever circle inside of circles that caused it. That's the E.target. Caused the rollover. Okay, so I refresh here. I roll over. Wow, isn't that great? Having too much fun. Super. Now, what was that thing about the E.current target? What was that E.current target again? That seems strange. So there's the E. Now, if we try E.current target, that is whatever the event is placed on. It's not what caused the event, but it's the overall thing that the event was placed on. In this case, circles. So E.current target. That is circles. That's the container. E.target is the specific one that was clicked on. So we could go e.target.alpha as a, to show you 0.5, for instance. Right? So now we're going to click on one of the circles, and the whole circle's container will be changed. Its alpha will change, but we're only going to animate whichever one was clicked on. So we refresh here, refresh. Let's try this one. We click, and look at that. The alpha of the whole container went. The e.current target, whatever that event was applied to, which was circles, that alpha changed. But only this one animated. That's great. So we've seen events. We've seen how to remove events. We've seen how to apply an event function like so, and as a function literal. Now note, this makes it so clear to look at that, and if you're just beginning, maybe that's how you want to apply your events and then make the function separate in 2 steps. But you'll find that we tend to use a lot that we embed this function as a second parameter. We saw how to collect an event object and apply that. And by the way, the event object is also handy in, say, something like a keyboard event. The keyboard event wasn't brought into CreateJS, and it's not brought into ZIM, so we would use window. So this is plain JavaScript, window.add event listener, unfortunately, and we would say key down like so, call this function. But otherwise it's very similar, and we'll collect that event object in there. And we can zog e.keyCode. So that's a property of the event object when we're doing a key down. So that can be handy as well. So that will tell us what key was pressed. And we could get an arrow key or not. But note, we've gone back out to add event listener on the window, which is just a JavaScript object. Okay, that's great. Super duper. That's events here at zimjs.com. Have a great day.